A no attempt to fucking read or write anything in Wake's voice tonight. I tried to several times, and I just felt gross, so I skipped it. Also, I forgot up until the witch reminded me that I was going to be streaming, so, I mean, you know, I would have been blissfully unaware the entire time, but there she is. She's watching my back. And so we're only a couple of minutes late. That's not that big of a deal. Apparently one of the little fucking things on the About page, if anyone even looks at that, is all fucked up, but I'll fix it whenever I get around to it. Probably after this, if that doesn't fly out of my head too. But we'll see. We'll see. For now, let's give you ears. Let's give you eyes. So that we can witness Alan's somewhat problematic journey through his own imagination in an episode of Night Springs, I guess, where he saves women, kind of, and otherwise they stand around and do mostly nothing except for the mechanic, who is the only one who dies over and over again. We're going to continue our story. Do we have the motel key yet? Oh. None necessary. We just can get it. Okay. Well.
Getting the Andersons into the recording studio was a struggle and a half. But once they actually picked up the instruments, something happened. They were two old men, and they weren't. They were doddering bags of bone, and they were barely contained power. And there was music. Barry rubbed his hands together. He knew how to pick a winner. Now all they needed was some direction on how to make things a little more modern. Barry had never produced a thing in his life, but he knew what he liked. He knew Balance Slays the Demon was going to be a hit.
And Barry was right. Pie, it was good. It was. Thank you. Pie, of course, still co-hosting. Oh, we're at this part.
Not as long as I show up, I guess.
And then it was over. Yeah, well and truly over. I believe we've listened to this one.
Are you feeling neglected? You shouldn't. You know Eddie Rodman's got love for you, which is why I actually hauled myself out of bed before noon, just so I could record an interview for your pleasure. Enjoy. Now, as I'm sure you all know, the annual Night Springs Visual Art Show is coming around again, and that's a big deal for all of us that are in the culture business. If you can call it a business. That's a little controversial, I know.
Oh, that's okay. Money makes the world go around, no doubt about it.
And that's one of my guests here at the studio, Serena Valdivia. She's a curator at the Night Springs Gallery.
She's a curator. Okay. She doesn't just run the drive-through. Or drive-in, rather.
Drive-in theater.
Hello, Eddie. It's great to be here. And let me just say that it's a wonderful venue.
Absolutely. And with her is one of the filmmakers, somebody who's actually primarily known as a renowned photographer, Alice Wake.
Hello.
Alice, I've seen a lot of your work over the years. It's very impressive. My wife's a big fan, actually.
Oh, thank you.
You've gained quite a bit of fame as a photographer, but that's not why you're here, right? You actually have a film. That's a little surprising.
For me, too. I really wouldn't be here at all if it weren't for Serena.
You two are friends, I take it?
Yeah, we move in the same circles. So, about a year ago, I heard about all this footage she'd shot, and I got to see some of it, and then I started pestering her about actually putting it out there, because it was really good. I didn't really want to show it. It felt too personal.
Well, yes, I can understand that. It features your husband, and he's, well...
He's dead.
I thought he was missing.
It's been 2 years. This sounds awful, but yes, I believe he's dead. Otherwise he would have, well, you know.
Yeah, I understand. Well, hold that thought, and we'll be right back.
You know, I just realized something. this series may be more self-aware than I had initially given it credit for, and being self-aware is something that I absolutely do give it credit for. Wake is quite literally having trouble writing himself out of a wet paper bag. Did anyone else catch that? Like, he's at the bottom of the lake in the dark place, able to write whatever the fuck, and he just can't get there. That'll become more apparent in like subsequent Remedy games that we play. But he's not great at it, huh? I mean, no, let me see you. I want to look at you while I say this. Come on. No, he's not gonna let me. He will not look at me. That's fine. Anyway, I don't hate the character. Did that give us a new one or not? No, apparently it didn't. We're missing that one. I don't hate the character. I find him endearing in a lot of ways. In that he is kind of the fuck up that he happens to be. But I mean, boy, I hope that wet paper bag thing is intentional. That one we've collected as well, so we can just scratch that off. Is this Scratch doing his fucking... Yeah, he's
Thinking about Barry.
dreaming about
I don't know what to do about him yet.
firing and or killing Barry. Ah. Okay. Well, that's closed off. We cannot go in there. We're just looking around for that last page at this point. Anyway. But it strikes me as strange that, or at least it's something that my head has picked up on and now won't let go. That he is supposed to be this renowned writer, and that by any genre conventions, he should probably have a relatively easy time writing his way out of this one, but he just can't fucking scrape it together. You know, he said this has now become more of a pulpy kind of story, so there's not much that stops him. We've introduced time loops and alternate dimensions and all that crap. Or maybe I'm just giving too much of a read on it. It may, while we're giving too much of a read on it, it may also be that, you know, he's spinning this yarn, this winding tale that is going nowhere and is kind of about nothing. It's just musings to satisfy a brain, because he enjoys being in his, quote, dark place. Which I would like to just go ahead and throw out there, more like dork place, am I right? But he's constantly remarking on how weird this is and how strange and grotesque the Taken are. The Taken, which I also have noticed, are all male. Sort of odd. The only female representation of the darkness we've seen has been Barbara. And the only women who are affected by the darkness have been, what, Rose, who got driven crazy, Cynthia, who got driven crazy, and then the curator, who wanted to fuck Alan the moment that he walked in the door. And that's also strange. So far we have Sheriff Breaker as a more positive example, who saw that shit was whack and went, okay, yeah, I mean, what the fuck do we do about it? Let's get a plan of action, let's get it going. Even then I would have liked her to be a little bit more of a character. She was fine, but she was also kind of background noise. We got Emma, who is so far the only other person who is experiencing the time loop the way that Wake is. Like, she remembers these past iterations of reality, at least to an extent. But even then, you know, he's killed her twice. It is his story. So he's killed her twice. Rather than continuing to engage the doctor on the merits, or lack thereof, of what he's doing, he just kind of skirted around it by saying, oh, but you're taking this very well. And you know, that's a standard thing that turds do to distract you from you being right. They'll compliment you on being civil, or on how well you're taking it, and they expected you to be much angrier. Looks like we found the last page, and then I'll continue. Just roasting Alan.
The Anderson brothers should probably have been in a facility somewhere, despite their tendency to escape from such places.
Why?
It could be argued that they had no business being on tour.
Tor
Their condition.
did being that nurse.
Around the laundry list of ailments and their endless quest for liquor. But Barry Wheeler managed them now. And whatever else they might say about Barry, he knew how to make things happen. And honestly, it wasn't like the Andersons were the most difficult clients he ever had.
No, of course not. The marketing angle for the Andersons is fucking clear. Like, you can sell those boys, not a problem. For Alan, it's a tougher one. Because I mentioned way earlier, you know, what you're working with is pretty Dean Koontz. That's it. And even though he's not that pretty, he's all right. The model, the in-game model, anyway. The actual model that plays Alan in the cinematics, Ika Vili. I'm sure I am fucking that up. It's a Finnish name. It might be Ika. I don't know. Ikka. Is of course a pretty man. He is professionally pretty. Frankly, the guy that does his voice, Matthew Parrot, also not a bad-looking dude. Surprisingly in good shape.
Thanks for saving me again. I'd hate to die before I'm scheduled.
Oh, here we go.
Murdered.
I guess I have you to thank for setting everything up at the oil derrick.
Yeah, well, I figured that if we were going to go over this again, we might as well try to be smart about it, huh?
I appreciate
That's pretty good, Emma.
You took a big chance doing that. Are you okay?
What do you think? I've died twice. I remember everything pretty clearly now. You said I was gonna be okay.
I don't know what happened.
It's not your fault. I think one of those, what did you call them? The takers? I think they did something to the power and they got me that way.
I'm sorry.
But I got the keys from the dead guy in that room. And I'm not handing them over until you do something about this. I'm sick of getting killed.
Fair enough.
I mean, yeah, that is fair enough. Although I feel like she shouldn't have to ransom this. And why wouldn't we have done this to begin with, other than Alan being just kind of a plank, you know? Just kind of a real piece of wood. Okay. Too far away. There we go. So yeah, they just whacked the fuse box. Or the breaker. Yeah, this is a breaker. They didn't even whack it. They didn't break the fucking thing or anything. They just turned it off. So, alright. Anyway, he's an awfully moody guy for the relatively, I'd say, tame shit that he produces and imagines. Because, like, at this point, remember, it's Scratch and Wake, same person, basically. So, this is the best he's got. These are the worst things that he can imagine. Hey, I turned the thing back on.
I really don't think they can get to the power now.
Why?
That's a relief. Here's the keys that you needed.
Thank you.
Hey, I have to tell you, at the diner, I went there with him. The guy who looks like you, okay? I know I said that I didn't.
Yeah, I figured. Want to talk about what happened at the diner?
There was this guy from the observatory, and he just attacked the poor dude, smashed his face into the tabletop a bunch of times. It was horrible. I didn't know that he was gonna do that. I swear. And I just ran. I just left him there. I didn't even try to help.
There was nothing you could have done.
Or called the cops. I mean, you could have called the cops.
He's dead in that motel room now, so excuse me if I feel pretty shitty about it anyway.
I mean, no, that's a reasonable response. You could have called the cops, but fear is fear, and sometimes people do dumb things in a crisis, and it's alright.
Shouldn't blame yourself.
I just didn't want to get involved. I have this tendency to just drop everything and run. I don't think I'm a bad person, but I didn't even call the cops. I'm such a coward.
If you'd called the cops, we'd have dead cops. He's not human. Do you understand? It's not your fault.
But I could have tried to stop him.
Believe me, if you had, you'd be dead.
I don't think so. He doesn't seem to have any special magical powers out in the real world. It's just here.
You seem to be doing a little better now.
Yeah, I guess it just got easier once I got this thing off my chest. I just feel so guilty about it, especially because I didn't pick up on any of the warning signs. I just really liked hanging out with him, you know? He was smart and charming and funny and hot. The way you could be, I guess.
Alright, fuck's sake, Wake, come on now.
He looks like you, he uses your name. Why does he do this stuff?
I'm not sure myself. Maybe he's just evil or my dark half. He does a lot of the stuff I'm trying really hard to get away from. Things that just messed up my life.
I guess all those murders don't help either.
Yeah, I could do without the murders and the end of the world. Listen, I need to get going.
Yeah, go. I think I'm good now. I hope.
Good luck. If it all goes well, maybe this is the last time we meet like this.
God, wouldn't that be great?
Just keep those lights on, okay?
I mean, Wake, there's a fucking... what I think is like a mini Uzi or a micro Uzi outside. You hand her that, and she's got a nail gun here, which I still just refuse. It's too stupid. There's a fucking revolver way the hell over there. We could grab that, give it to her. She got an ammo cabinet. There's plenty of flares and flashbangs and shit. And we've seen, like, Wheeler and Breaker fight taken on their own. It's not like Wake is magic. He's not the only one that can beat them. So, you know, why don't we help her out? Why don't we arm her? And then Alan went to the observatory. He did not pay attention.
Countless individuals.
Emma seemed to hear me, though. She could
by the machinations.
tell that she needed to call the fucking police.
And yet, for a moment, the champion of light breathes a little easier. He has saved one life. For this moment, it is enough. And soon, perhaps, he can put an end to this.
Yeah, fucking maybe. We'll find out. Usually these things come in threes, right? That's a significant mystic number and everything, so this is the third loop, third time's a charm, all that bullshit.
Returning to the observatory for what he hopes is the final time, the man feels anticipation and dread in equal measure. Soon, he knows he will have what he needs.
Okay. He knows he'll have what he needs. Look at him. The face of determination.
Hello, I was expecting you. I've already taken care of the imaging array, but you should still look into securing the primary coolant flow. With some luck, you may be able to light the area before these things even show up.
Okay, so the doctor now also remembers. I mean, like, she's definitely been doing all of her own deductions. That's definitely, you know, to the game's credit, to the writer's credit. Oh, open. Oh, there's extra bullets in there.
Thanks for tuning in for the second part of our interview with Serena Valdivia and award-winning photographer Alice Wake. Now, Alice, we were talking about your husband, Alan Wake. Is that a sore subject for you?
Well, a little bit. Of course it is. The way I see it, we had our good times and our bad times, and on the whole, we had a lot of good times. He really made me happy. I don't mind being reminded of him.
So you're over him?
I don't know if I'll ever be that, entirely. I still think about him every day, literally. I still find myself hoping for... Well, sometimes I think I see him just standing somewhere, watching me. I think most people who lose someone they love experience things like that. But on the whole, I'm doing all right. 2 years is a long time to adjust, and I'm not really the type to wallow in the negative.
Well, I know there are a lot of stories about Alan. He seemed to have something of a wild streak.
That's not really what our show is about.
Nah, this motherfucker's as mild as American cheese.
Proportion. He had his problems, but it's really frustrating for me because people like to talk. They love to tell these crazy stories, and they never really knew him at all.
Well, the character he created, Alex Casey, is a household name. The books still continue to sell. There's been talk of a TV series, a movie, a video game. Must be nice to know that his work is still being appreciated by so many readers.
Yes, of course, but I don't really deal with the business side. I leave that to Alan's agent.
That would be Barry Wheeler. Actually, I just interviewed him. He's currently in the music business.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also Alan's best friend. Do you two keep in touch? Or?
We talk regularly. Like I said, he handles the business side. I think we should talk about her film.
Yes, of course, you're right. I'm Eddie Rodman, talking to Alice Wake and Serena Valdivia, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, I mean, you did bring her on to talk about the film, Eddie. That's kind of foul play. You can't bring someone on to interview them about one thing and then be like, haha, actually we want to talk about this other thing. It's sort of fucked. Alice has her own body of work, you know? Alright, and like before, what we're gonna do is... Oh, get followed, I guess. Bye. Anyway, like I was saying, what we're gonna do is... Oh, motherfuckers. We're gonna go look for these fucking sheets. And given how close everything is, we may complete our all-shotgun build. There's an obsession that games have with shotguns. They sound cool, I guess, but they're really nowhere near as punchy as games would like you to believe. You're not gonna like knock someone off their feet or blow someone in half with one. They're not to be taken lightly, but on the whole, rifles still much more dangerous. They seem to be just doing the volume thing again, huh? Where the answer to, "You've progressed quite far," is, "I'm going to throw more boys at you." Gimme. Alright, 46 out of 53. We're getting there.
The film noir poster reminded me of Alex Casey, the detective's cool exterior never cracking even with the gun pointed in his face. In the back room, all the lights had been turned off, except for the lone spotlight which illuminated the bright red fire extinguisher on the wall.
I like that what Alan has to do in order to get the projector running is not come to any real realization, it's to practice some fucking creative writing college coursework where you just describe details because they said show, not tell. These are not important details to the story. There's a lone spotlight, an illuminated bright red fire extinguisher on the wall. Cool. You gonna list what it is that you're wearing and how many wrinkles are in your fucking jeans, Wake? Like, this is a bad practice that people teach prospective writers to do, and it just, it blows my mind every time that I come across it. You know, I look at this passage here, and I go, who fucking cares? And on an editing pass, I would rip it right out. 'Cause it's nothing. He talks about Alex Casey being cool. He's sick. I'm glad you think he's super awesome. I don't. And I don't care. What bearing does that have on your story, Alan? Anyway. Okay, Dr. Meadows and Mr. Scratch.
The man before Dr. Meadows was handsome and slick. He moved with lazy confidence and didn't bother to pretend that he wasn't staring at her. She didn't mind, at first.
Well, slick is true, yes.
He opened the knife and shoved her out of the control room so she wouldn't hear the signal, whatever it was. Outside, she pulled her lab coat closed and thought about running. She didn't. She didn't think she'd get very far. Not from him. She never was entirely sure why he spared her.
Don't you have the keys to the building? Just, like, lock him in. Call the cops. Flashbangs, other bits. Okie doke. Anyway, the primary problem with shotguns causing damage is that they, the projectile is moving relatively slow when we're talking about firearm projectiles. Don't get me wrong, they're still going quite fast, but each one of them is relatively slow compared to a rifle round and also relatively low mass. They're also little pellets if you're firing a shot from your shotgun. And the pellets themselves have irregular trajectories. That's why you get what's called a shot pattern. It's how far it is that everything is fanning out. So it could very well be. Oh, it's an AA-12. Wake, why would this be here? Also, the drum mag is a bad idea. It's a weird noise for the light to make. I don't know why it is that I just noticed that. Anyway, so it just... There's a whole lot of irregularity as far as shotguns are concerned when firing them at a target. Let's see how good this does. Okay, so it's sort of the next step up from the pump. I don't think it does as much damage per shot, but is it full auto like it's supposed to be? Yeah, it is. Okay. Fucking 12-round drum. Oh, it sounded like a spider. Oh, there's more ammo. Anyway. You don't get those sorts of things with a rifle, and being able to consistently hit a target and not just wound it, but be certain that you will kill it if you strike it correctly, is what makes the rifle a more dangerous tool. That and barrier penetration, distance, you can fucking fling a shot at, which, don't get me wrong, with a shotgun you can absolutely... Well, it's really not that much ammo difference, is it? It's 30 in each. But do I need another tool that is very... Well, let's continue to consider this here. Makes a fun noise. I don't know, I'm not really sold on it. I kinda just want my fucking carbine back. Alright. Well, they can't say we didn't try. Anyway, back to these sheets and back to me talking about, things that no one really gives a shit about. Where was I? Oh, right, patterning, mass striking a singular point. Barrier penetration. There it is. So, when you're firing at something, it may be that it's behind something else. A tree, a piece of wood, a wall, so on and so forth. Pellets may not penetrate. A slug will, but then you're just flinging an inaccurate, heavy, slow projectile. Which, again, don't get me wrong, quite lethal. But it's not moving fast enough to gain the kind of penetration that a rifle round typically has. And again, you know, if you want to get really into the weeds, there are rifle rounds that are appropriate for barrier penetration and ones that aren't. The general gist of it is bigger, heavier bullet, go through more thing. Let's listen to something before we continue here.
This act of creation is exhilarating and frightening.
Okay, don't think I didn't fucking catch that meatloaf there, though.
Effect. Causality and consequence become domino chains that stretch into infinity. The more fundamental the change, the more unpredictable the variables become. Reality is too complex to control completely. Ordinary questions become meaningless. Who created who? What is really real? Everything is as real as everything else. You learn to let go of the things you can't control and go with the flow.
And me, I like everything louder than everything else. Because again, no, don't think I didn't catch that. Anyway, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. There we go, we're settling back in. And of course, you know, it could just be a coincidence of the phrasing. Does not have to be a Meatloaf reference. Anyway, I mentioned inaccuracy and distance that you can fire at a target. That comes primarily from rifling, as well as from, you know, the initial charge of powder and what it is you're aiming for muzzle velocity. But most shotguns are smoothbore. You can add rifling to the barrel, but they, in the US, have to be over 18 inches long. This doesn't tend to help super much. It keeps the slug. This is really just for slugs. Much more stable. But it's not going to save it from dropping, because, you know, it's a mass, it's moving at a speed, it's going to fall at a constant rate. About the only way to increase distance on firing is either to, you know, lob it at like a 45-degree angle, typically the most distance that you're going to get out of something, or to increase its lateral, we'll say, horizontal velocity, so that it's clearing more ground as it's falling. And that's not really something that you can do without really fucking up a shoulder in a shotgun, because there's not much to receive that pressure outside of just your shoulder. They're very simple machines. You have to do like significant fuckery with buffers and shit to make some of these larger bullets fireable, and 12 gauge is what, .78, so like a 78 caliber bullet is what you'd be talking about. That's too much. No, it stopped. Oh wait, are we just doing this again? Scratch? Is it? Yeah, okay. It was the same as last time. Except now it's one of those guys. You know, those guys. You're much closer than I was anticipating. Fuck off. Ooh, a twofer. Anyway. And then I was done. Okay. We're returning to Dr. Meadows. I'm sure someone else will come and fight us. So yeah, consistency is what winds up making the shotgun itself somewhat undesirable. A little slow on the trigger wake. Because the primary advantage, or I should, well, no, the primary advantage of the shotgun is the shot. You're flinging many projectiles at once in order to increase hit probability. If you move away from that, well then, what you have is a rifle with a large bore that is slow to operate. Heavy. Hurts your shoulder. And has very low ammo capacity. So you know how games. After that extremely long and winding spiel, please help my brain out, specifically my brain, because as I said, no one else cares. And let's adjust how we think about shotguns. They work farther than 20 feet. You can, at pretty much any reasonable range that you'd be taking a shot, you can hit something with a shotgun. But they're really not necessarily a better weapon than a rifle, where, you know, this is numerically superior to a number of things I've been holding. Oh, hey, it's Scratch.
This is what you look like. Does that bother you? I bet it does. I'm not just wearing your face, you know. It goes a lot deeper than that. There's a lot of you and me. All the best parts.
Was that a get a load of this guy, Wake? Was that what that was? I agree.
All those stories about you. You already had that rep. And then you disappeared mysteriously. And then the stories about bad, crazy Alan Wake came true. And here I am. That's the best part, isn't it? When that happens, you can always count on Cauldron Lake. I'm just as real as you are. And I'm the improved version. No fears, no doubt, no weaknesses, no self-deception here. I don't let anything drag me.
I know, bud. I know. Fear can be a healthy thing. Doubt is a healthy thing.
I know you like I know myself. I know it bothers you that I'm like this, that I use your name, crawl my way into your life. But I only do it because I'm better at being you than you ever were.
I mean, okay. Honestly, he makes a lot of the same mistakes, doesn't he, Wake? His fashion included. If you lose the suit jacket, and you have that crisp white shirt under that black vest, you know, with the black slacks and everything, then you got a look going. The jacket is too much. It makes everything monotone. You want contrast. Oh, are we fighting? Let me grab the thing first. Okay.
Need to protect the telescope. We can't complete the signal.
Yeah. Oh. Alright. Oh, okay, sure. We're doing this then, are we? You know what? Yeah. Y'all can live down there for a second. Just into a wall. Oh well. Bye. Bye. I had a bunch of these too. You guys still like those, right? I think they're fun. Who turned this music on though? Like, when did this start and where is it coming from? You just know that Alan thinks he looks extremely cool right now. In his fucking Bob Vila cosplay with his sawed-off shotgun. Yeah, turn the lights back on, thanks. Yeah, big solo, big finish. You fucking Dorkosaurus.
Physics in my observatory. That's just rude. Are you alright?
Okay.
I'm glad. I'll send the lift down to you. I remember our previous encounters very clearly now, but technically, if this really is a loop in time, we've never met before. I don't know why our awareness persists, but it's bloody fascinating.
I mean, it honestly is. That would drag a lot of what we understand as causality into question, wouldn't it? And if this is a loop, well, that would mean that time would have to be perfectly looped, so that would annihilate the causality and just kind of strip memory, and things would simply be existing within sort of not a rounded track, but a literal complete flat circle, or rather a fixed point. It would just be the moment, and that is it. No beginning, no end, just this. But I mean, clearly what we have is looped circumstances, so someone has fucked with the world but not the people. Like, history still exists. We have done this day before.
Doctor?
That's that angle again.
Physicists who would give 15 years of their lives for a chance to experience something like this.
Always with that angle.
Imagine that being stalked by horrible axe murderers would curb their enthusiasm a little.
Clearly you've never met hardcore physicists.
Agreed.
Glad you're in such good spirits, but...
The signal! Yes, it's completed.
Finally. If all goes well, this should be the last time we go through the loop.
You know, I just realized that I don't have any memory of what happens after you leave. What does that mean?
I don't think it means anything. If everything goes well, you just keep going. I don't show up here like this again, no more bad guys. Things go back to normal.
Let's hope you're right. I'd love the opportunity to look into this in more detail.
Looks like you've accepted the situation.
I'm a pragmatist. If this is a delusion, at least my first psychotic episode is anything but boring. Really, Mr. Wake, at the end of the day, I'm a scientist. I love mysteries. I love not knowing. Whatever else this might be, it's absolutely fascinating. I wonder how far this reaches. Is everybody in the world experiencing this?
Who knows? I think reality's probably pretty fragile right now. Doctor, I can see you're very enthusiastic about this. I'd appreciate a bit of discretion.
Are you suggesting that we should suppress this?
No. You can do what you like, but I want you to leave me out of it.
But surely, with the things you know, the things you've experienced, you can replicate any of these results. We could—
Let me be blunt. If you drag me into this, I'll deny everything. I'll lie like my life depended on it. And writers are damn good liars.
He's not. He's really not.
Things man was not meant to know territory. You get into this, chances are you'll open up a door into a world of hurt. Believe me, I know.
See.
I don't know, dude. I don't ascribe to the man was not meant to know thing. And you know, you're a man, Alan.
In a strange way, he feels at ease. He is armed with his own words, and when the time comes, they will be enough or they will not. For now, he's content to let the currents take him toward the final confrontation.
Okay, away we go. Also, he doesn't... You seem enthusiastic. Well, I mean, she's also broken this whole thing down to the point where, like, the fiction has taken on a life of its own, huh?
Once more, we return to the drive-in. If he's aware of the absurdity of arming oneself with a few sentences and standing against a power that can pierce time itself, he doesn't show it. The man has his share of weaknesses, perhaps more, but cowardice is not among them.
I will agree with that, that sentiment. Cowardice? No. A lack of imagination? Yes. Self-importance? Positively. He keeps calling himself hot and handsome and fucking like smooth and charming, and it's so fucking ridiculous.
Oh, you got yourself a little plan, do you?
Yeah, I guess he does. Here. Have another one. I got plenty. Whoop. Yeah, you thought. Anyway. Bye, boys. No, that one didn't actually bite it. It just stripped their shit off. Oh well. Oh no, we're down to only one flashbang. Whatever will we do? Bullshit. And so yes, Wake's got himself a plan. Other Wake is making fun of him for having a plan. Where do you think you're going? There we go. They're just not quick enough. Didn't leave very much ammo lying around, did he? He forgot to imagine himself some bullets. Got flare gun ammo though. We'll take that. I'm sure they'll throw things at us, or we'll have to do the fountains again, because that's Scratch's security system, and he had to call it that. Got plenty of carbine bullets though. Is this still just the pump? Yeah. Anyway, there's a new flashbang. We'll grab this. There, we're stocked. So it's, what, just that one? Yeah, it's literally just this one then, huh? Okay. We've done it. Oh, I see. So you have to duck the electricity, but we've had to duck the electricity every time? Yeah. Okay, well, it worked out just like it did before. Hey, guys. There are so many of you. Why are there so many of you? Get out of here. They just thought maybe they could have this party here. Alright, nothing else is happening in that direction. Gimme. Yeah, I just get to go that way then, right? Is this door open? Hey, yeah, I saw you tipped that over. You also opened the gate for me? Thank you, that's nice.
You're never getting out of this, Wake. Never! Don't worry. I'll take care of your wife and your life.
Do you think he'll use his knife to take care of our wife and, his life? The music's back. Okay. God, it just... He just keeps doing it, huh? Okay. And then the music is done. Who is playing this music? I hope these are Wake's hot jams. I really do. I hope this is what's on his fucking Spotify playlist. Okay. But I don't have to fight it.
But I'll send you right back to the beginning.
I know. Or your boys could just get dunked on, you know? That's also a possibility. I see a page. Alright, 49 out of 53, not that many more.
When the dark man's eyes suddenly locked into Serena's, she flushed hot. They ignited a black fire in her.
Stop.
She wanted the
Stop.
He said something about the projector booth. She hooked a finger under his belt buckle. He grabbed a hold of her throat and twisted until it hurt. Somewhere deep inside, a part of her screamed in paralyzed horror. But the moan that escaped her throat had no panic in it.
Alan.
Pay attention, he said. Business first. His eyes glittered shamelessly. Hers did too.
Alan. Alan, we can't make this into a dime store erotica. Fuck's sake. God. That's gonna haunt me. I'm gonna have to think about that. It's just rattling around in there now. So we know there's one up there. I don't think I missed any down here. I don't remember seeing question marks, but we're gonna go poke some stuff. We're gonna make sure. We know that's just the rifle. The assault rifle, as they put it. Looks like an AR pattern. Touch. Well, it wouldn't matter if there was, because I can't go back there. Into the cactuses for the erotica. Anyway, you guys know that he's a psycho, right? That's what the song says.
What? You think whatever it is you're gonna do is gonna make a difference? This'll end up just like before!
Yeah, it might. I gotta find these pages, and then I gotta go help that lady, though. Because again, this just seems wrong. Oh. You're also on TV over here, did you know that? Give me this. Are they gonna come in here? Is this gonna be like a problem? Okay. Well.
I've been around for a while now, you know? While you've been indisposed, stuck in the darkness, I've been busy.
Okay.
I operate in the shadows. Not always literally, you understand? I'm a little more resilient than those I've taken. But I do my best work in the dark.
Okay.
And there's so much darkness out there that goes deep. And the things that live in it are bad, big bastards. They don't mind getting a little bit of elbow room. All that chaos and madness, it doesn't really do that much down there. It's like pouring a glass of water into the ocean, right?
See, look at how much better that looks with the jacket off. Look at that. Nice.
Yeah, you can really make an impact. All they need is someone to bring them all the way through. But first, I had to take care of you. You party pooper. You're stuck in an eternal cycle now. The sun's never coming up for you. Everything else? Do my thing. Get a bit of quality time with Alice. That's a little
What was that? Was
I deserve it.
okay. You treat yourself. Holy shit. Alright. Let's get to focusing the beam. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay.
There's more to fighting the Taken than just burning away the darkness that protects them.
Yeah, you gotta shoot him.
For my life, I find myself slipping into a state of intense concentration that makes the beam of my flashlight seem more powerful and focused. I used to think it was just my imagination, something brought on by the adrenaline and fear of death. But now I'm not so sure. I've been touched by powers that I can't begin to truly comprehend. And they've left a mark. I'm starting to think this might be a part of it.
There you go, Wick. There's your in to write yourself some superpowers. There you go. We found it. He tiptoes right up to the line, and then his brain just fucking shits the bed. God. I'm still reeling from these things that we've heard and seen, lost things. I just fucking, you know, I could make a comment about how no, it's not everything that lives in the dark that appreciates madness. Some of us are perfectly fine with following the rules. But a little bit of natural chaos now and then isn't a bad thing. You gotta shake things up. Entropy is just what happens to systems that you don't put energy into. And that's fine. But, like, that's... all of those thoughts are just being crushed under the weight of Wake trying to make the fucking fava beans and Chianti thing happen, and it's just not working. Also, I guess Scratch has the ability to turn people into Taken. I don't think I've ever seen him do that. Like, the idea, I suppose, is that the Taken must be coming from somewhere, and where they're coming from is Scratch, but doesn't that seem to just happen with ambient darkness, where this, like, living shadow kind of flits from thing to thing and gets in your brains? I guess the erotica section is the first time we'd seen anything similar. But even then, she's not, like, you know, one of these assholes out here. She doesn't try to fucking beat us with like the security supplies that she's got in there or anything. It just kind of farts around and does nothing and grinds on that door frame, I guess. You know how it is when you want to grind on a door frame. When you've been touched by the darkness and now you're a bad girl and you want to grind a door frame. Ugh. Ugh. There's 2 more pages.
I held the film canister in my hands. I saw her name written across it in big letters, followed by the title. It was a time capsule. Moments snatched from times gone by.
That is how time capsules work, yes.
It would also be our future. It was my salvation, our chance to be together. A tin can with a bit of magic in it that she didn't even know about. Something I could put to good use. There were only moments left before I had to face him.
Alan, are you gonna kill Scratch with fucking fond memories? Is that what's gonna happen? Am I gonna play this fucking video and is he gonna, like, disintegrate because he just... Boy, we had some good times. The solution was feeling warm fuzzies, Wake. Okay, if that's what we're doing, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit on par with what we experienced with Wayne fixing global cooling with 5G towers. You may get to hear me shout away from the microphone because, oh my god, no. Okay, the clothes.
The clothes I wear now I shaped from dreams and memories. It's an old outfit originally from the 90s. The last time I wore it was when I was still writing and Alice and I took a vacation in the desert before our troubles began.
You wore this?
The night before,
Don't.
we'd been at a party, and I had dressed to the nines. On that lazy day, I put on these old clothes, worn and comfortable. Alice made a joke about grunge.
You think this is grunge? You think this is grunge, Alan? With the
good memories to remind myself of
with the steer belt buckle? Alan? You think this is it? This is what you picture? Okay. Okay. Yeah, let me just... Here, lady.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, it sounds like it sucks every time.
You'd better. I really don't want that to happen to me again. It's like somebody vomited in my brain, like a sleazy movie that keeps looping in my head.
I'll stop this, I swear.
You know the part that's really screwed up? If you mess it up, it'll just keep happening forever, right? I don't think I can deal with that.
Don't think about that.
I don't think of anything but.
Hey, afterwards, when all this is done, look me up. This thing, I can probably help you deal with it.
I don't know. It's almost like I'm not even in the same world anymore. Everything's just weird now.
Yeah, I know. A lot of that'll pass with time, but being touched by the darkness, it's rough on you. It's a lot to process, and I just don't want you to get completely screwed up by this.
Might be a little late for that, to be honest.
Yeah, well, there's degrees. At least you're not at a point where you go around picking fights with people over not changing their light bulbs often enough.
What?
Never mind.
Cynthia didn't pick fights. She just chastised people. That's not the same.
Any friend of hers?
Thank you.
Okay, well, Alright. Alright. Fucking Scratch gave her a brain sickness and it's called sexlexia, I guess. Yeah, radio, save me.
Pre-recorded interview with Serena Valdivia and renowned photographer Alice Wake. So, tell me about the film.
Wait, hang on. But Serena's there.
It was just footage, things I saw and happened to shoot. It's not a medium I'm very much at home.
Okay.
You shouldn't put yourself down. You've got a great eye. Maybe.
Yeah, there she is.
Experience is another thing.
Over there.
Because you're primarily a still photographer.
Yes, exactly. So I'm really used to thinking of the world in terms of snapshots. I frame something and try to pick the right moment, and then reveal that moment to people. Moving images are a different story. I'm still learning a lot about it, to be honest.
So, this is a new thing for you?
Or maybe I'm just a slow learner. But showing it like this is definitely a new step for me. It's a little weird taking something this intimate and showing it to everybody. Not that the material itself is somehow shocking. It's just that those were private moments.
But that's why it works, because it feels genuine. It's not so much a story as it is a sort of an echo, showing us how you saw your husband at the time. It's not really about the sunrise itself or Alan watching it. It's about you two together.
I suppose. It's funny, looking at it now, especially now that it's been edited like that. It takes on a life of its own, almost. It's a kind of a fantasy.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, you're right. I'm glad you talked me into it.
Oh boy, I'm gonna play this movie and the sun's gonna come up, isn't it? I can fucking feel it coming. Oh no, Alan. Oh no. This is why you need me, Wake. This is why you need an editor. Someone to look at what it is that you've done, someone who loves you like any human being would love another, you know. Says, I don't want harm to come to you, fellow living creature, but one that isn't so close to you that they can't say, hey, what you've made, this is some real dog balls. It's not good. I wouldn't make this. I would make something else. In fact, go make something else. But then he is this kind of character, isn't he? It makes sense if you follow the logic of the man. If you take him seriously. Alright. Where's the next one? There we go. We've done it again. Cool. Bye. Is that something over there? It's a structure. Might have a page by it. We got plenty more flare gun rounds. We can look around a little bit. What fucking one are we missing? What am I missing? The Grenadier. Okay, so it's literally an enemy information thing. We may have missed it in a previous chapter. I don't see anything around now. I don't know if they're new every time, or if they are consistent, like the ones that you miss are still there. We'll poke around for a moment or two before we get rid of the rest of the dark fountains. I am trying to avoid what I feel is inevitable at this point. Yeah, that old third eye has a sharp fucking pain in it, and that's bad tidings. Okay, maybe up here. I don't see anything on the fucking mini-map radar. Pi, I just don't see anything there, man. That's all. It's not present. Yeah, that's the structure we were at. That's the power plant, which I don't remember seeing anything in. That's the rifle. That's the way up. We got the one that was over there on that rock. Is it just like stashed in the parking lot, maybe? We're crossing the parking lot. I'm looking at the thing. I don't see it. I see plenty of other flashing lights, though. Not usually one for completionist things, but like, we're so close, you know? We're basically right there. Who knows where it is, though? Oh, the witch would like to fucking divine us an answer. I am looking for the Grenadier page. Up. Okay, that time he used his knees. At the very least, her help will let us know if it's still obtainable or not. Alright, take a few breaths, Wake. Okay, and I think this spot down here is the last place that we have to check. Okay, well, the wish says that it's by the drive-in theater sign. Let's see if it's still obtainable. If not, oh well, such is life. Because it's been a bit since we've met the Grenadiers, right? We'll see if that's there, and then I'll do this, where we maybe defeat our shadow selves. Well, Wake defeats his shadow self. Just some fucking vacation footage. Also, they say that Scratch is, you know, he's a fucking serial killer, and he's all the cool parts of Wake, but this fucking dude, there is absolutely no way, because I've seen his writing, he has no familiarity with violence whatsoever, and it's a taxing thing for a number of people. You can't just wake up one day and do it. Alright, so the other sign seems to be way the fuck out here. Oh, yep, there it is. Thank you, darling. We've done it. The Grenadier.
The Taken were always single-minded. They had a certain animal cunning, but they weren't very intelligent. That's one reason why they prefer melee weapons. Actual firearms are too complex for them to use. That's why seeing the one who threw grenades at me surprised me. But of course, they aren't actually grenades. There's no pin to pull, no fuse to set off an explosive, just concentrated darkness.
Okay, there we go. They don't use guns because they're kind of stupid. I don't know that stupid is the right thing to say. It's a foreign body for this darkness to occupy, isn't it? Like it's not hands that it's familiar with. It may not even perceive things too well. I know that it has trouble with language. We've seen that in the bits and blurbs that the things yell. I don't think it knows what it's saying, just that this is something the host has said before, so... Bleh, there it goes. Okay. We're in. We got probably no more use for any of that. That's right, the code. Every time I've forgotten the code.
The Champion of Light enters the final trap. The new reality is almost here. All he needs to do is change the details of the scene, push it past the breaking point, and the rest will snap into place.
Okay, so we didn't put Alice's movie in the projector is what we missed. That's the last piece. The film Sunrise that was on the marquee. That one. The one that was on the marquee with Alice's film. We didn't put it in the projector. You're killing me, Wake. You're killing me. This is why Barry decided to go into music. I agree with this choice, Wake. Okay. Well, I'm turning on Death Rally 2. You can't fucking stop me. There it is, Death Rally. Changing the time. Boom. Got it. And it's fucking August now. Got that too. We gotta swivel this around because this detail's important, I fucking guess. Alright. What else? The fucking noir poster. Boom. It's your fucking book, you turd. Alright. So, the projector. Fucking... These are the projectors. Is Alice's movie on the rack? Is it over here? No, that's change date. Is it in the back? There it is. Okay. An actual film reel, not a digital projector, sure. Alright. You're not gonna run that? It's enough that it's there. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Oh, come on, buddy. Why don't you...
It's happening.
What? What is this? No!
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, no.
You can't do this! All I did was take the things you always wanted and never had the balls to go for. It's my turn now. It's my life. It's my life.
There he is. He's got the fucking
Alan?
Bob Vila cosplay on. This is the memory that killed them.
Is it really you?
It's really me.
How? I love you.
I love you.
A woman, a man, two lovers, held apart for far too long, enveloped in the light of a glorious dawn. They both feel it. He's home at last. Are these actual events, or merely a dream? A memory, or a glimpse of what is to come? One thing is certain. This scene takes place in another time and another place, far, far away from Night Springs.
I'm moving to fucking Night Springs then because I want to be far away from that. I cannot believe that he roasted his bad self with his fucking vacation footage. God. Yeah, what do you got for your outro, Wake?
You know it feels nice
There you go.
watching the sun come up. And I can never return.
Okay. I can't sit there anymore. This for right now is all that I can do with and for Alan. Not an ending I would have preferred. If you're looking forward to the screaming, I'm deliberately trying not to because, well, the microphone couldn't handle joy. I don't know how it would handle rage. God damn it. Fucking, it will just get him with the fucking beam of the good memories, you know? Just remember the good times. That did it. Don't you think that if you could solve these things, you know, your narrative issues with the dark place and everything like that, with just a happy thought that maybe that would damage the whole narrative? That perhaps that's a bad way to go? To Remedy's credit, it seems that they also think so. This is maybe a what if. We're not sure how much of it actually happened, or when it happens, or why it may have happened differently. We'll get there in time. For now, the meat machine beckons. And I'm not ready to start that up just yet, probably tomorrow. But we'll get there. We will close the book on the meat debacle as well, and then maybe we'll sing a song. What do you think? One that's supposed to last for decades. Until then, we'll let you wander by yourself. I'm going to go curse God, I think. That's all I can think to do with this ending. Anyway, see ya.